Hey guys, welcome back to another video on the channel. Exciting one now. We're going to rank the transfer window. Newcastle's first ever transfer window since the takeover. Last summer, just a reminder by the way, Joe Riddick was our only senior signing the entire summer. £25 million for the player that we had last season. Yeah, a bit different this time around. I said at the start of the transfer window we needed a minimum of 6 signings. We only got 5 in the end. But what do I think about those 5 signings? That is the question. As always, guys, you're new to the channel, make sure you get down there, subscribe if you haven't done so already. There'll be daily content on the channel. Even without the transfer window now, I'll still be getting content out there. So I appreciate your support as always. Smash it if you enjoy. This is opinionated as always. If you don't agree with me, that's fine. You can put your comments down below. Obviously, just don't abuse me. That's the best way of putting it. But yeah, everyone's entitled to an opinion. And like I said, this is very divisive between fans. A huge point to make before we actually start ranking the players. Newcastle actually spent the most money at any football team in the world in that January transfer window. So you can't say the owners didn't try. Over 100 million euros. I mean, exceptional. It honestly is exceptional. Never in a million years going into that season did I think in January time we'd be making all these top level signings. But here we are and it feels incredible. How this is going to work is every single player at Newcastle side I'm going to rank out of 10. 1 being the worst, 10 being world class. At the end, we're going to rank the transfer window itself. Before we get to that, I'm going to quickly address the, believe it or not, criticism that the owner has received. There are 2 things Newcastle fans, well, some Newcastle fans were mainly unhappy with. One was not getting a world class centre half in. Again, we tried loads of Diego Carlos and Sven Botman tried for weeks trying to get them in. And in the end, we were outpriced, I think, from both of them. I can't blame the owners at all. I'd rather us miss out on those 2 players, try and get them in the summer, than us to be mugs now and buy it. Because if we leave the impression that we are willing to spend loads of money on a player and be overpriced, everyone's going to do it to us. So I understand why the owners are playing it safe. I agree with it. And here we are. So people are claiming the attack with 1 injury off being relegated. I mean, people are entitled to think what they want. I won't tell you otherwise, but I do think that's an overreaction. We've had a much better transfer window than the likes of Norwich, Burnley, Watford. We've got what it takes to stay up now. If we don't stay up now, we've only got ourselves to blame. We've done everything we can. We've got these players in. Yes, the Chris Wood or Sir Maxson gets injured, it'll be a nightmare. But I think the signs we've made, we've got more than enough to stay up this season. The first signing we made was Kieran Trippier. He signed on the 7th of January. History-making moment. The first ever signing under the new owners. £12 million. There's no question about it. This is the easiest 10 I'll ever give my entire life. We went in for him straight away and we got him straight away. That was a huge sign to bring in. He's a future captain at this football club. You see the way he reacts around the players. He has classes above. You can tell the way he plays. He can read the game well. He's someone a team near the bottom could die for, honestly. This guy is good enough to be playing top 10, top 8. I mean, he still is class. I don't think he'll get an England call-up again, but I tell you what, he's probably 1 injury away from getting a call-up. I still think he's definitely up there. A top-level football player. And again, with the agency itself, it's the same agents I've got Chris Wood, which again we'll get into in just a moment. So £12 million is a bargain for someone of his quality. He's someone that could be here next 3-4 seasons. He's still got it. And he's going to be huge on dressing room. And again, as I said, he will be a future captain you can imagine at this football club. What a first sign that was, and what a statement sign that was as well. The second sign Newcastle made was Chris Wood. We activated his release clause on the 13th of January from Burnley. £25 million he was. He wasn't a cheap signing, but he was a needed one. Callum Wilson is still injured. We needed a striker for the Watford game. We had no striker. It was a necessary signing, but whether people think it was a good value signing is another question. This one's quite a tricky one because first off, one of the main parts about getting Chris Wood in was screwing Burnley over, screwing another team over the other relegation zone and putting pressure on them. In the end, they only spent £12 million of that money, so they only spent half the money. They got the Wolfsburg striker in. I don't know how good he is, that's the thing, I've never watched him play before. I feel like he's an okay sign for them. So I don't know how that's going to work out in terms of us screwing the opposition over. However, in Newcastle's sense, he played 2 matches against Watford and against Leeds. We got 4 points in the end for those 2 games. He didn't do an awful lot in those games, but his presence there helped we get 4 points. We should have got 6 points to be fair. So yeah, we can't say it was a terrible short-term option because it's not. It's definitely worked for us in the result-wise. But the problem is though, is he going to help us in the long run? What will happen when Callum Wilson returns? I think it's a good signing. I don't think it's an amazing sign. I think he do the job. This is a guy that in the past 4 seasons has had double figures, so he's definitely had the experience in the Premier League. I think it's a 7 out of 10. I think it's a good signing. I don't think it's an amazing signing. I think the value is quite high for him, but again, we need to sign him. And yeah, I don't think we complain about it. I think it is a good one. I just don't think it's anything more than a good one. The third signing Newcastle made, he's on the wall there. Bruno Guimaraes. The one thing I don't like about him is trying to pronounce his name. Other than that, it's an absolutely ridiculous signing. Again, easy 10 out of 10. This was a guy that was wanted by Arsenal, Tottenham, Juventus, like Barcelona went in there at one point. In fact, this is an Arsenal fan's opinion on here. He's just so certain he was never ever going to go to Newcastle. A player of his standard was never going to go to Newcastle, according to him. That was the mindset the Big Six had in this deal, and it still went through. Newcastle still got him in. In fact, I went to the club shop 3 days before he's saying I was that confident he's going to sign. Got the shirt printed off, and I'm absolutely buzzing about it. Still got the same number, and it's a world-class sign. He really is a world-class player. Again, I wish I got a chance to watch him live for Leon. I haven't. I watch his YouTube videos and compilations, stuff like that. But the way people big this guy is generally one of Newcastle's best ever signs. It's a huge one to get in. He's came for about 52 million euros, so it is a record signing. So no longer is Joelinton the most expensive player in Newcastle's history. It's another Brazilian midfielder as well. I think that's also good for Joelinton, speaking of which, actually, because now he's got someone else in there that can take a little bit of pressure off him. I do feel like those two, obviously as cliche as it sounds in being Brazilian, but I do think those two will definitely work quite nicely together. But yeah, we need a top-level midfielder in. We got one. 10 out of 10. Easy as that. What a sign that is. Ridiculous deal. I think it's definitely the sign of the win for Newcastle. We head into deadline day now. 3 players signed. Matt Targett becomes the first. This is a guy that's better than what we have. Again, with the left-back situation. Matt Ritchie, I don't think is a left-back. Jamal Lewis isn't going to be in the 25-man squad due to, obviously, us trying to loan him out. Paul Dummett is extremely injury-prone. That's kind of it, really. Dan Burn, our 5th sign, can play left-back, which we'll talk about. Example here, I put on here. She thinks it's a 7 out of 5 for this window, but saying that, Targett would definitely start for us. Again, we'll keep an eye on it. A lot of fans do believe he is going to start week in, week out. We'll see, but in terms of this signing, again, it's good. It's nothing amazing. I think he's probably, I think he is probably the weakest out of the lot since he's not a permanent, so I'll give him a 6 out of 10. Again, he does improve the squad though, so it's not a bad sign. It's just the fact it's not permanent. I do feel like it's probably the worst out of the 5. But listen, all the signs I think are good in the end, so I don't think that's a bad thing at all. Newcastle's final sign was Dan Burn. This was a man that was rejected by the youth team, and he climbed all the way up the football pyramid from non-league to League 2. He did it all the way to the top to Brighton. Eventually, the 6'7" centre half, he got the knock on the door for Newcastle, and he opened that door. What a sign that is. Again, with the centre-halves, we got outpriced for Botman and Carlos. He went in for Dan Burn instead. A smart sign. He's better than what we have. He's a versatile player. He can play left-back, I suppose. So, obviously, his issues with Target or Dummett, anyone like that, you can slot in there as well. He's a great one to get in. He's obviously going to be an aerial threat. And again, a Blythe man. I love that story. I really love that story. I want to see him succeed at Newcastle. I think he deserves it. He's got an opportunity now. Will he take it? That's the question. It was about £13 million in the end. Graham Potter really liked him at Brighton. This isn't a player to take a bench warmer for him. This is a player that was quite keen at the club. But in the end, your boyhood club, you're obviously going to pick it. In the end, I think this sign is a 7 out of 10. Again, nothing amazing, but it's a good sign. You improved the team, and that's all we ask for at the minute. I look at the window, I see how things go, and I just feel like people are expecting a bit too much in this window. You see later Lingard in the league on striker pop at the end. You just feel like, oh, we can get more deals done, get more in. But I think people do have to remember who we are. We're still a team in the bottom 3. We're still a team that's come back from 14 years of stagnation. It's going to take a while, but it's a really good start. We've spent the most money out any team in that window. Look at that stat there. That's the difference of our new owners now compared to previous owners. Light and day, the difference. So we can only ask for so much. In the end, in this transfer window, I think it is a 9 out of 10. I think it was a really good transfer window. It was nearly flawless. I think the problems with the owners in this window, I actually think at times they were over-ambitious. I think we spent too long trying to get like Lingard, Botman, Carlos in. Whereas we could have got a couple of really boring signs. I don't know, like someone like Ross Barkley, for example, a boring sign, but he's someone that's going to improve the team and add a little bit of depth. And I feel like we were too over-ambitious at the time. But at the same time, though, we got like Bruno and Trippier, and so you can't say it didn't work. I just feel like next window, we've got a much better chance of getting these players in. But for now, though, I feel like we still need to lay a few of the foundations first. But overall, 9 out of 10. Class window. Can't complain about it at all. Really happy with the signings in. Yes, I asked for 6, but still, the 5 that we got in were pretty good signings. So, anyway, guys, let me know your thoughts down below. Do you think it's a 9 out of 10? What do you think it is? As a result, I mean, class window, I feel like, but a lot of divisive opinions coming in the end. Anyway, guys, take care. The second half of the season begins now. Will the signings pay off? I sure hope so. But anyway, guys, take care, and I'll see you on the next one.